are now live. Oh shit.
We are now live.
All right. Good evening, everybody else. I'm your host, Brian.
You got your co-host Victor.
And then our permanent
I'm
guest star.
Michael.
Yeah. So, if anything, hope everyone here is doing well tonight. What are y'all drinking tonight?
Water.
Nothing.
Damn. Your room was hot whenever we tried to build you that computer. Drink something, goddammit.
Yeah, the room was like 90 degrees. I was sweating sitting down.
My god. I don't know how to tell you this, man, but I think your house sucks when it keeps like heat out.
I think your
Or
house.
if
It keeps I don't know what it is. I don't know if the AC just doesn't work well, but it does keep like the larger rooms, like the ones closer to where it's located, cool. But since my room is all the way across the house, I don't know.
yeah,
I can't get anything.
I believe that every room should have those small air conditioners like other countries have.
yeah. Weirdly enough, that would be helpful to a lot of people. But anyways, outside of that, today's topic
Weirdly
we are
enough,
gonna
keeping cool in Texas is weird.
yeah, and weirdly enough, yeah, keeping cool in Texas is weird. But yeah, moving on. But today's topic is going to be we're just going to bring in Michael to a lot of times how me and Victor talk shit about tech startups and a lot of like the whole crypto FTX scandals and like anything pertaining essentially around Silicon Valley companies who how majority of them feel like scams. At least to the investors' eyes, they feel like scams. But anyways, we'll start off in this case with the question of where do we all want to start off with? Do we want to like really just jump into the FTX, or do we want to follow up what I fucked up last week about WeWorks?
No, it's fine. I think we should just start slowly explaining why we think tech startups are scams.
All right. So yeah, hot or trash take here. Tech startups are scam because of a couple of reasons too, such as the fact that a lot of people and a lot of other financial analysts has said too that these companies, even though yes they are new and they are part of like a area of like America's Silicon Valley is in California, where it's the potential of having a lot of highly educated people to like start companies and they can make like profits, quote unquote. But at least in my take, how I see it too, a lot of these times too, the tech startups are led by people that really don't know how to run businesses. And if anything, other investors get reeled into paying, in this case, bad business practice in the end. At least that's my take with it. That's why, at least for tech startups, most of it feels like a scam. Not all, but there are some. Most notably, it's like FTX. But to be fair, though, Sam Bankman-Fried, or we're gonna just call it SBF for short, is a pretty much a scumbag when it comes to like how he was running the company to begin with.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of the companies that go bankrupt, a lot of these unicorn tech startups or these kind of like these tech startups that become really big and they go around the news a lot, they're always run by people who are very shitty people, to say the very least.
Yeah. And it's like you think about it, it's like, do you really like put blame into that statistic at all? Or is it just something that like it's part of the natural thing for the tech startups?
I don't know, let's say natural thing about tech startups. I mean, let's just think literally anybody can start a business. So, I mean,
yeah, it's like any
just like anything. It's just like anything in life. The one with the biggest mouth will always have essentially the most.
yeah. And so that was
the most. I lost my train of thought, but continue.
But yes, the only thing that was different about it too, like I think what you were trying to say is too that like the one that has the biggest mouthpiece tends to get the most media attention. Therefore, they can frame all they want about how they can frame themselves to the media group and how their company looks. And then underneath all that, it's just like, wait, hold on a minute. You guys are just a bunch of fucking dipwits that are just going around behind the computers and actually losing money because y'all don't know how to trade.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of the people who continuously are like loud and boastful are the ones you really gotta watch out for. The ones who are like really trying to draw people in.
Yeah. This was most egregious to another startup company called Theranos, or that one pharmaceutical company. I don't remember the full proper naming or how to say it out. But in this case, it was essentially a pharmaceutical company that put itself as a platform that they can handle or process blood works within like a day or like a few hours. Which apparently at the time too, blood works do take a lot of time where you do hear back from like a week or so.
And I think the thing about them is that they claim that they had a technology that was able to do that,
Yeah.
that blood test in like a short amount of time. But it turns out they were just using traditional processes and
Yeah.
didn't really do anything different.
Yeah, so it's like they were hyping themselves up, and if anything, like before they even had the tech preview or whatnot to like show the investors, investors are already pouring millions into the company. Just because that sounds like it would be useful, right? But once she kind of showed the whole company to it, it's like, oh, where's the new technology? All I just see is this one lady that's just using a centrifuge.
Yeah, wait, why don't the investors, like, since they're spending so much money, they're investing so much money into these people, why aren't they, like really investigating them beforehand?
Well, the thing about it too is like with Theranos too, they made the claim too, as in this case, this is or less they were trying to shoot like a business proposal to like a bunch of shark tanks essentially. That's essentially what happened. But really, once they did find the idea interesting and they put money into it, then it's just like, sure, we also still want to see how you want to run this operation because we still want to see it. And then that person could just give like an arbitrary date later on down the line.
Yeah, that's the problem with these tech startups. You're really essentially gambling.
Yeah.
You believe in the idea enough to give them the money to start up their business, but in the end, if it works out or not, it's, I mean, that's the risk these investors are willing to take, though. It's not something like they invest in something that's guaranteed to work out. They invest in something they believe could really work out and better the future. That's the thing people don't get about. That's the thing people don't get about investors. They really do like believe in the technology or believe in the idea.
Yeah.
Well,
like let's say for example,
I can believe in an idea, but if I'm about to invest a lot of money, I want a little bit of like scientific proof to the method.
Oh yeah, no, that was the thing about it. She was in this case providing said technological usage as how it will work to these investors, and they were on board.
Just how it works, but that's it.
But
no trials.
Yeah, again, this was
you don't have money to trials. That's the other thing. That's why they're asking investors.
Yeah, that was the whole thing that Theranos was trying to like get money for. Is in this case they want to like have money to do trials, but in the end, if anything, it was like the money was being spent like not on the project. It's just like, okay, where the fuck is this money going into? Turns out she was actually just siphoning the investment money.
Oh my god!
See, that's the problem.
No.
The problem was you invest into the company, and then like the company failed, then it wouldn't be an issue at all.
Yeah,
but
no. See, I was under the impression that like she was like, no, I know this will work. I have it. It's proof. Like, you know, some.
No.
She made it seem like she could already do it. She just needed the funding, but I didn't realize she was just siphoning it off.
Oh yeah, no. She actually went to jail for this shit.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Now, this also goes into like what's happening with like FTX, especially with SBF and whatnot. Kevin O'Leary was like the main like person that people saw into. It was like they were like questioning him about like how could you like just invest money into what is literally a con artist. And if anything, Kevin O'Leary makes a stance too that like he will in this case feels bad at the fact that he got his money duped there at some point. He probably won't say it publicly, but honestly, he probably feels bad that he got duped. But really, it's like in the nature of investment, like what he said too. I think there was like a metric that someone made about it where Kevin O'Leary, the known investor, he's on the spectrum from him and then Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a conservative investor where if anything, he has enough like data to really back up like his decision that he will stick to what knows that he could project easily to the future that will give him money. Kevin, on the other hand, he does have the capital to like actually kind of lose money to begin with, but it's if anything, he wanted to like make this company grow. Now, this is only based on the stuff that we are able to like really see online based on interviews. Multiple sources say that, like, again, he was just doing what he could as an investor, and a lot of them were really trying to point out too that, like, how hurt are you that the fact that you just got like burned from like this CEO who literally stole money from you and is essentially has made millions of Americans lost money. And really, it all just boiled down to like, unfortunately, he did not really have any say into that. But really, it's just all part of the whole investment game, unfortunately. But if anything, if he said that, would he do the same mistake again? He doesn't know. He'll probably still invest into it. But that's all it is. Kevin O'Leary is a much more liberal, a more open style like investor. Like, he's willing to invest into risky projects compared to Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett just invests into established companies.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, you can call him conservative, but he just wants to. I mean, I guess it is because he only wants to invest in established companies.
Yeah.
But Kevin O'Leary is an angel investor. He always has been. That's why he was on Shark Tank.
Mhm.
He wants to invest in new ideas.
Yeah. Albeit, yes, he does admit to that, like, he doesn't know a lot of the technology from like front to back too, but if given the time to, he will do the research and actually learn about it.
I mean,
That's
and that's fair. They're not going to know the whole science. They just need to, I guess, believe and be sold on the idea.
The problem is, how do you actually learn it? You know, how do you learn everything? Because every company, even though they learn learn the idea and how it works, but they don't understand how a company will apply that idea.
yeah. And
I mean,
it's
they'll tell you. I mean, like, the leadership of the company will tell you how they plan to run the company, how they're going to apply this idea and everything. But in the end, like you still don't
practice
truly
wise.
know.
Yeah. It's like in practice, there's still a lot of like unknowns about like all of this too, just because, again, with the rise of Silicon Valley and a lot of these tech startups too, it's essentially like they're just trying to like garner as much like angel investments where they can too, because, like, let's be honest, there are so many companies that actually do need the investment that they need, that they're trying to compete with like the limited number of angel investments. And because of the fact that a lot of them are getting burned out by, like, in this case, the WeWorks, FTX, Moderna, Theranos. Oh, fuck. Okay, it's not Moderna, not the virus, not the vaccine. Something. We'll call it Thanos. Let's just call it that.
My man's struggling.
Yeah, it's hard to remember, but if anything, she was a bitch anyways.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's gonna be in one of those cases too that, like, it's part of the job for an angel investor, but this also makes it like harder for investors to really like give money to people that do need it, based on, in this case, experiences with the tech startups. Like, if anything, there will be like even more walls and like scrutiny before they start lending out money for willingly. But it's like, again, it should be like that as well, but I don't know.
But-
I'm a bit
But
mixed
here's
with
the
that.
problem. There is the problem, though. Like, there is scrutiny. Investors do have their due diligence, but it's usually at the idea phase. If your idea isn't a good idea and your prototype doesn't really show like how well your idea is, you're not gonna get money. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
The problem with majority of these companies have gone bankrupt. They were kind of established already. They just needed more money.
Mm-hmm.
FTX was pretty established before Kevin O'Leary came in.
Yeah. And decides
So,
to post that shit out everywhere.
I mean, these investors already saw that FTX was big, and they're getting bigger, and they just wanted a piece of it, really.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
And so, when you see a company already established, and they seem to be on a growth trajectory, would you not believe in that idea then? Yeah, clearly it's working, but for how long is a different story, clearly.
Yeah.
But clearly it's been working.
Yeah. It was just a matter of like, the CEO decides to do something fucking shady, such as the fact that, again, what we found out that what SDF was doing is that, like, he was allocating a lot of the company's money to like buy like up housing around the Bahamas. And not only that, fucking sending out like his own like work groups or close families out to like luxurious vacations too. Even though in the whole media too, they were portraying him as like a very modest person when clearly it was far from that.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's also my other problem. Media also shit, like, they also show the wrong side of these tech startups.
Yeah.
Like,
Eh.
SBF being modest, what does that have to do with anything about
Yeah,
him
that-
running the company and where the company's going?
Yeah, it was like the portrayal of, in this case, look, a CEO that is humble and is not an asshole is like running this, and it's a multi-million-dollar company, and he's young. Why not to like put like faith behind him? I was just like, I agree with you on that. How does him being modest and like humble actually prove that he's a good investment or a good company runner? Because clearly it shows, again, FTX shows a different side too, because they're relying on a lot of their finances from crypto. And
Well, they are
Let's
a
just-
crypto company. I don't know
Yeah.
if you realize that.
yeah, wait,
What?
really? But obviously with the notion of like, because of the fact that it is a crypto based company, it is going to be as volatile as is like anyone that knows crypto enough, where like you will
that's not the
never
issue.
actually
That's not the issue with FTX.
mm,
Volatile is better for FTX because they're an exchange. They
Oh.
make money off of that,
Huh.
the buying and trading, the constant buying and selling of crypto. So it's
Yeah.
good for them.
yeah,
The issue is they were misusing funds,
yeah,
and
pay
their
everyone back
their
when
their own crypto that they make, their token, their FTT, their FTX tokens, what they really call it.
mhm.
I forgot what happened, but Binance dumped majority of their FTT, their FTX token. That caused that price to go down a lot,
Oh man.
which then caused a lot of people to withdraw their money, and then that eventually led to this bankruptcy.
Yeah. And then it's like there was that too, and then there's a lot of other things that happen in between there too, where it's like a lot of like the people that were working in FTX that were in charge of other people's money for them to spend. Yeah, they were outright just making horrible trades everywhere, making like every trade they do, they lost even more money. There was like a lot of issues with that as well too, and the fact too that a lot of the money that they were trying to like make sure nobody noticed too were being siphoned from FTX to Alameda Research, which we hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
And that was in this case a sister company that technically should not even be remotely related to it, but it is, because that's where the money trail leads from.
I mean, they are related because that's SBF's company.
Yeah, it's SBF's company, and it's also like how they're using to like know how to make good trades.
So their hope was that they can use the customer funds, trade, make more money, and then just give it back to the customers, really. But obviously that didn't work out.
Yeah. Because man, I don't know what to tell them really. There was just like lots of monies were just gone instantly. But I digress too. The whole crypto scene itself too kind of just imploded on itself when like FTX went under, and then there's all the whole lawsuit litigations, whatnot too. CoffeeZilla is the YouTuber that I watched that kind of covered the whole story with Sam Bankman-Fried and like FTX like whole shenanigans to start off.
And I'm gonna be completely honest and say this whole FTX issue only caused a massive issue in the whole crypto market, a whole shakeup in the crypto market, because FTX borrowed a lot of money from a lot of different companies.
Yeah, which is also why we saw like other like crypto banks too that unfortunately went under. I believe like not Bitcoin, but what was that one website that we used? I completely forgot. I keep getting emails from
BlockFi?
them. Yeah, BlockFi. They freaking went under too because they loaned money to them.
BlockFi, and then another one called Genesis Holding.
Yeah, Genesis Holding.
I think Three Arrow Corp was. I don't think they were involved with FTX, but they were also one that caused this whole crypto meltdown.
Yep. And it's one of those things too. it's a beauty that like again FTX was like that proportional in how much they fucked up that it caused all these other industries to feel the impact. But it's also like I feel terrible too, just because this one company made like so many other companies go bankrupt because of their decisions. I don't even think it's decisions at that point.
Oh, it is a decision. They actively made the choice to swindle customer funds.
Oh,
I think it's the decision they made.
All right, fair enough. Yep, because of their actions alone, they made like so not only a lot of other American people that invested into the company practically go bankrupt. A lot of other companies that also loan money to them, yeah, they're not gonna get that back.
No, I mean maybe because the new CEO that stepped up to FTX are trying to get everyone's money back.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out for them in like in the next 3 years or so.
Yeah.
But
Oh well.
no,
The new CEO that FTX appointed was a guy who handles a lot of who gets appointed to a lot of other bankrupt companies and trying to bring them back up. So this guy definitely has some experience in his belt. So let's see where this goes.
yeah. Now, and then there's another company too that in this case have filed for bankruptcy finally called Reworks. This was a company that I fucked up last week because I had a brain fart. But let's go into detail like what essentially Reworks is. They were essentially a real estate company for commercial buildings, with the whole idea that they were trying to change the
Alright.
way how office spaces are
They're
viewed.
technically they're a real estate company trying to play themselves off as a tech company.
Yeah.
What a garbage business model.
Yep.
How did they play themselves off as a tech company?
That the CEO said that they were a tech company. That was it.
That was
No, that was mainly they had nothing tech related. They don't
It's
do
like-
anything tech related.
Yeah, the only thing closely related to tech is the fact that they have like researchers and engineers just develop like an algorithm to show them where is the most profitable places to rent out offices to companies. That is it.
Mhm.
But
so was the angle because it might attract like investors willing to spend money? I mean,
Mm.
is that the only? Like, is
the
go ahead.
like I said, it's a real estate company that they were trying to position themselves to be like approachable to other like tech startup companies that need office spaces. But if anything, the type of service they were providing to was the fact that they were the companies that in every office building they should have like beer on tap freely. Like anyone that
Because
works
the
there,
CEO likes to drink. That's why they have beer in every one of their WeWork offices.
yeah. I'll let you guys figure it out like how bad of an idea that is in the long run. But it's one of those things too that like they were trying-
let me be honest. Let me be honest and say that having beer there is not the main problem. I think it's the leadership that was the problem.
Oh yeah, the leadership was the actual problem too. Just because like before like the whole WeWorks too, and the fact that again the CEO has gone through so much like lawsuit against him, and I think he's not in jail, but I don't think he's allowed to be anywhere near like running companies anymore.
No, he has another company.
Okay, he has another one. Okay, so if anything,
But he was essentially kicked out of WeWork.
yeah,
You see, here's the difference about the CEO. Okay, his name's Adam Newman. To people who don't know, he
mhm.
was the founder of the We company, which had a lot of different companies, but the main one was WeWork.
Mhm.
So he what was it? Fuck. How did I lose my thought already?
I don't know, man. But yeah,
Yeah, for
it's
real, bro. I got a Windows shutdown right now.
oh well. Let's continue on with it while Victor tries to figure it out. So essentially, what Adam Newman did that in this case caused like all this shit to happen to WeWorks is the fact that lots of people that reported into him was the fact that
Oh.
if there was something that he did not like to hear to, or like a certain worker could not get done easily, he would either straight up just fire them or give them even more work that it seems impossible to like deal with. And not only that, he would take staffs out to like expensive outings, so like music festivals, company outings, and like the best statement I've heard from a ex-employee from there is that anywhere that you go to these company events to, a tequila bottle is within arm's reach anywhere. That was like also one of the things too, that Adam Newman was just massively just spending a lot of it as well.
All right, I remember now.
Mm.
The reason why he's not in jail is because he didn't scam people. He had a
Yeah.
business model. He did everything the way he explained to these investors. Only issue is it was just a terrible business model, but people still believed in it. So he
Yeah.
didn't scam people per se. It wasn't a business model that was sustainable. That's the reason why he was let go instead of being arrested like all these other tech CEOs. He didn't scam people the way that that one chick, Elizabeth Holmes, right? From
Elizabeth
from
Holmes.
Theranos?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was Elizabeth
Yeah,
Holmes.
he didn't scam investors in the same way. He did have a business model and he did put it to work. I mean, WeWork has been in the company for like a good while now. I forget how many years, but they were in business for a good while now.
Yeah,
They
they started in
burning through-
2008.
They were just burning through a lot of cash. That was the issue.
Yeah. It was just the fact that they could not just stop burning cash. That was the issue. When they noticed the fact that once like COVID hit as well, Adam Newman did not stop on his spending rate. Like he just kept going, even though the fact that the whole COVID like lockdowns happened too, nobody was coming into office, nobody was actually wanting to buy any more office spaces just because everybody is working from home. Why would we want an office space now? And because they're like, in this case, you rent out a space from WeWorks, they could kind of just say, yeah, we could just cancel it. We don't actually have like a leasing contract with you.
Yeah, it's a month. It's a membership. They call it a membership. So it's a co-working membership that WeWork offers. So you can cancel it. You can cancel it anytime. It's like a gym membership. You can go if you want or not. You just cancel it.
Yeah. But pretty much this is the current state of WeWorks right now. And as of apparently today or a few days ago too, they did file for bankruptcy. So there's that. Oops. But another topic to really get us into it as well is the fact.
Before we go on to a different topic, I want to quickly explain on how they were discovered, essentially. To the lack of a better word.
Go for it.
They were about to do an IPO, and for people unfamiliar with what an IPO is, it's called an initial public offering, and that's when that's when a company initially releases their stocks to sell out to the general market. And so once they were about to do an IPO, people started paying attention to them because they were a real estate company that was a quote-unquote tech company that was already valued at 47 billion. Now, if you already have a big valuation like that, you're going to draw a lot of attention by investors, and they're going to start investigating. So it turns out that didn't work out for WeWork.
Yeah.
Investors got a little
skeptical about like
skeptical.
the money.
Yeah, they got skeptical. They started digging deeper, and then Adam Newman essentially just he didn't do the IPO after that.
Yeah. And in doing so as well too, they were trying to like get answers about all this shit too. And before he even got let go from as a CEO, he fucking had the audacity, by the time that they released their company to the IPO, he trademarked the actual word "we" as part of WeWorks. So therefore, the company WeWorks has to pay royalties to the CEO to use that in their name.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, it was like a whole ass thing because Adam Newman is in this case he is not a dumbass. He is in this case the intelligent con artist that is also a scumbag.
Look, I don't think FTX was a con artist. I just think he's fucking stupid.
Yeah, SBF is more or less a dumbass. That one we can agree on. But with Adam Newman, he was intelligent enough to the point too that he knew he was going to get caught, but he still made it, in this case, very much impossible for him to go down easy. Whereas SBF too, yeah, you lost like hundred and millions of dollars of like not just like the company's money, but like Americans' money. In this case, the U.S. government's money.
I'm where it was billions, not just
Yeah.
hundreds of millions.
Oh yeah, my bad. Billions. There we go. So really, it's like he decided to fuck around and find out. In this case, the
Indeed.
most hardest way to like find out is from that shit alone. Like, goddamn. That's why like I said too, like at least for in most cases, tech startups they feel like a scam based on the fact that again, a lot of the leaderships too are mostly like or most CEOs are practically run by the same people that started up the idea, obviously. But with the caveat of none of them really have like to know how to run businesses, unless you're also that one person that just their whole life purpose is to start up businesses just so that you can sell them off. That one is also a weird one to me, at least. Just because it's so much work to like actually just trying to start up a company to then position yourself to sell this company off from you. And then you do the
Yeah.
whole process over again.
Yeah,
At least to me,
but I
that's
guess,
odd.
I mean, yeah, it does sound odd, but at the same time, some people can only build it up to a certain point, where others can build it up even further, and that's probably why they sell it off.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, if anything, it probably there already is a like better way to probably word that too. It's just that in my point of view too, it just still seems weird nonetheless.
hmm But some people just enjoy starting up companies. That's
Mhm.
it's an interesting joy. But yeah, starting up companies is what some people like, and I
Mhm.
guess once it reaches a certain point, they just want to start up a new company.
Mhm.
Yeah. But let me see, what was it? There was like another tech news that happened as well, or do you think? Sorry, hold on. I'm losing my train of thought right now. Sorry, guys. Someone cover for me.
Take your time.
Oh
Have a
my
good time,
god.
dude. Mike, how do you
Oh.
feel about all this?
It's interesting. I wanted to talk a little bit more about like the people who start companies up and sell them off, because
Uh-huh.
I too always found that a little strange. Just because it's like, I don't know, like I feel like if I was investing so much time into it, I want to see it like flourish. But then you do it makes sense that like maybe some people only can get it off the ground so far, like, or maybe some people only have the desire to get off the floor so far and then see where other people take it. I don't know. It's where I just start a company. I don't know. I feel like I want to stick with it permanently, or not. I want to stick with it for as like a really long time. I wouldn't want to just sell it off.
Yeah, I mean, you can also, I mean, you can still sell the company, but still be running it. You know, I know, I definitely know a lot of companies like that. I mean, I technically work for a company that did do that. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you can still stick with a company afterwards. You don't have to leave after you sell it.
Yeah, it's
Do you have
just
the time to like stick at that place while you're also developing another business? I don't know. That seems like a lot of. I don't know. I don't see how people can balance that much time.
I mean, sometimes they have business partners too. So you can be running one thing and then helping, and then the business partner can handle the other, and then you're just getting updates from the business partner and you're helping them out from time to time, things like that. Yeah, there's plenty of ways you can do these kind of things.
yeah.
I mean, a business usually you'll never do it alone, so there's that.
Yeah. I do at least want to give a shout out to at least CoffeeZilla. That guy is the only few like YouTube journalism that does like full on investigations on a lot of like scams, frauds, or the fake financial gurus. Ooh, wait, do we want to talk about that too, Victor?
Does that fall under this topic?
Kind of, but it's more or less like lots of money being poured into them for no reason kind of deal. But that could also technically be fine, but we can also kind of just we can also just make a quick statement about it too. Such as the YouTube financial gurus, never fucking trust them at all. Whenever they say that they're not a licensed like economist, or what was like the thing that they say at the beginning of those videos?
That weird disclaimer saying, "Oh, they're not a financial advisor."
Okay, that they say they're not a financial advisors, but then tell you all this stuff too, to like, hey, look at all this stuff that's also making
Yeah.
headlines of monies and whatnot.
Yeah,
When in reality,
they do need to make that disclaimer, and as long as they do, then it's perfectly fine. Only because after that point, if you make the active decision to listen to them, that's your choice.
yeah. Which is, if anything, it's still dumb nonetheless too. That like, you're
I
just
mean,
literally
you say
taking
it's
away their
dumb-
own
you s-
accountability. I think that's the only problem with me.
It's not. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, yes, it seems like you're taking away accountability, but the issue is you're already warned beforehand. That's
Yeah.
my thing. That's the thing I see. You're already warned that this guy is not a financial advisor. Why are you still listening to him?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
See, or
And then
if you
there's-
or if you want to listen to him to see what he has to say, then that's fine. You know that's perfectly fine. But if you follow
Yeah.
through and do what he says, that's your issue.
Yeah. And there's also like, what's the icing on the cake too is the fact that if you want to get rich with like me or rich like me too, follow or enroll into my private course called Hustlers University. God
Yeah.
damn it. Hustlers University or whatever that they're trying to do. Anytime I ever see like those
They
quote unquote
always sell
financial
courses.
gurus,
They always sell courses. That's how they
Yeah.
make their money. They
Yeah,
don't actually
that's-
make money through other means.
yeah, and it's like one of those things like, God damn it, I hate this. It's like it's
they
either
have-
by
if they-
books.
Yeah, if they
courses.
don't teach you through free YouTube videos, they're gonna sell you a course, and that's exactly how they make their money.
Yeah. It's very dumb too. Anyways, that's my quick statement about this. Never listen to financial gurus. They're nothing but a load of shit.
If they say they're not a financial advisor, you should probably
Take that actually. Say like don't
Yeah.
listen to them.
take that literally.
Yeah. Don't listen to them for whatever the fuck they say because of them alone too, it causes reactions to everything else. But I digress. I only say that too because again, these also same financial gurus were also like talking about these tech startup companies that obviously they were hyping them up and then they inevitably failed. In this case, a lot of people were putting money into them. So there's that at least.
How to not
But-
fail at starting up a company. Sign up for my course today.
Yeah.
I'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah. And with only a premium fee of $60 a month.
Yeah,
Is it a monthly charge, or I thought it was like $200 per like lesson?
it depends.
It depends.
They do per lesson. They do an annual membership, monthly membership. They have a lot of different ways, but
Yeah.
essentially in the end, it's the same thing. They just make money off.
I like the ones where they're like, you don't listen to me, complete high school, but you don't need a high school education to make millions like me while they're driving around like a rented Lamborghini or something.
Yeah, probably is
It's
rented.
Those guys
the
are
rented cars
awesome.
are the best, bro. The rented cars are the
God,
best. They're
dude.
all showing up in their fucking Lambos and stuff.
My God. Now I
And
wonder
they're like in
this
front of a school and everything, and you're just like, oh yeah, these guys, they're real. They're so real.
Yeah, which makes me wonder about this then, all right? If like a lot of the tech companies then in this case, I'm still gonna go on the tangent of like in this case, if they are scams too, how much money do you think they would still need to like pose themselves to look like they're a functioning company?
How much money?
Yeah. It's like how much money do they have to spend to get them enough attention where like they would make the money back through, in this case, the sheer volume of investments they would get?
Well, there's no way to quantify that at all.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, as long as you have an idea, and as long as you're able to act upon that idea,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can get investment money. And then what happens afterward is anybody's guess. I mean, see, like I said, with all the with WeWork, FTX, and Theranos and all that stuff, that's what they did. They had an idea, they acted on it, acted upon it. They did make a product. They did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was a good product or not, it's a different story. But they did. But other things happened that caused them to go bankrupt, like
Right.
swindling customer funds or swindling investor money or just having
Just
a
being
shitty
outright an asshole.
business plan or being an outright asshole. Yeah, like you know, like these companies did have a product. They had a product or a service that they provided. It's just leadership really took it the wrong direction.
Yeah. And now what I want to throw out there is in this case the other tech startups that are still around, such as in this case whole Facebook and not Facebook, Meta. God, what a dumbass name to change yourself into, Zuck. I still want to see the boxing match between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. I'm down for that shit.
Oh yeah.
God damn. But at least in this case, would you even say that like these are considered successful companies like Meta, Tesla, and like other everything else?
Well, if you consider how much money they make, how the product and service they provide, that they continue to provide, and yeah, I mean that consider them successful.
Consider them successful, but at least I'm gonna put Meta on a fucking microscope here just for this purpose alone. Only reason I hate them for the way how they generate money is in this case, they are outright selling user data without having a care in the world to any of the other companies, advertisement companies that in this case would love to have some of that data.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that too, they made it pretty obvious too that it did not matter like whose data it was, everybody was free to go to. And the only issue was that, again, you have other countries too that would, in this case, buy out, in this case, advertisement listers that had people's data.
Mm-hmm.
And so, therefore, Meta is indirectly selling your whole information out of the national security problem. Like that was the
Well, I mean, I guess you hate Meta, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
be completely honest and say there are way too many data brokers out there, which are essentially companies that sell your data. There's
Yeah.
a lot out there, and they have a lot of data on you. So Meta is not unique.
yeah.
but-
Meta's not unique, but
They do exist. You know, if
Yeah.
only we were like the EU and have more stricter privacy protection laws.
yeah,
But alas, this is America.
It's like-
Freedom.
yeah, freedom and whatnot
Freedom
too.
to steal your information.
Yeah, freedom to make money off of you without you knowing, which is also another
Without your
fun.
consent too.
Yeah,
Damn,
without
bro,
your
I
consent,
would,
too.
I wouldn't mind selling my data if I got money out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing
But
is,
then-
you're
yeah,
not
that
getting the
position.
money.
Yeah.
Pay
Yeah,
you
that's the-
for your stuff? No.
Well, this is. Don't you think? Why is this not considered stealing?
Yeah, that's what it is stealing. That's the whole argument that people were trying to get about this too.
I don't know. To be quite honest, I don't know if it's just not necessarily protected, like it's not considered stealing. Like obviously it's not considered stealing. They're allowed to get away with it. But I don't know. I'd like to know like the like reasoning that that's not considered theft of a kind.
Yeah, because
yeah,
okay,
and it's not. I mean, I guess it's not identity theft for sure because they're not using your identity to pose as yourself.
Do
But
you?
it's-
Well, okay,
it's still-
wait. Do you think a lot of the reason? Sorry, a lot of the reason why they can get away with it is the terms and services. Like I'm sure they have it buried in there, like where it
Oh, yeah,
just says
definitely.
like, "Oh, we reserved the right to sell your information off to third parties and stuff like that."
yeah,
And then
Oh,
once
yeah,
they sell that off,
100%.
it's no.
But either
longer-
way, but that's the thing. It's either way they're able to do that because it's still not protected. Your privacy, your data and privacy isn't protected to begin with. That's why they're able to do that. Even if it wasn't in terms of service, they could probably still do it.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
I
The
guess it's
issue
just
is the
legal. Like it's to prevent like some really weird or like some.
It's
legal
just like
ramifications.
it's just a disclaimer. Honestly, it's just like the financial advisor stuff. It's just a
Mhm.
disclaimer.
Yeah, it's just the very main issue. Instead, I'll get off of Meta's case for this because yeah, I probably beat that to the horse already. People already don't trust them anyways. It's mostly the data broker's willingness to like send data to whoever has the money. That is the issue. Because if you have the money to, you can go to a data broker says, "Hey, I want like a entry for like this state here. How much is it?" They'll give you a price, and if you have the money, you got that. And-
Not even that expensive, bro. Just
Yeah.
go buy data of yourself.
Yeah, literally, you could do just that, and it's insane. But
They
really,
know a lot, bro. That's the weirdest thing. They know
Yeah.
a lot.
they know a lot too. And the main issue I have is that data brokers are also unintentionally feeding into like the whole scammings that we've been seeing. In this case, ever had like a lot of like random telephone calls from some guy that sounds Indian as hell, but says it's on Montana?
Damn,
I,
bro.
Yeah, it's like maybe not that specific, but you know, you probably all have like either like scam calls to phishing emails, and it gets crazier too.
Yeah,
And it's like,
I've been noticing more like spam calls,
yeah,
just like trying to get me. I don't know. Well, they're always like, what was it? It's like the hotel one now. It's like some sort of hotel. I can't remember. I'll come
Yeah.
back to it whenever I find out again.
yeah. I would at least say this too. I think I was actually a victim of some type of a scam too, because apparently too my bank account froze for a bit too. It's just like, hey, were you trying to spend $500 to a hotel in Brazil or the Bahamas? I'm like, no, but I want to.
Not yet.
But yeah, apparently someone like found like my card information too, because I have not like posted any pictures of my card information out there. So that was also another scary shit.
I do know a certain way of them doing that.
Oh,
Apparently, I don't think it's randomly generated, but they do get a lot of random card numbers and just use them and see if they work, or sell them off.
yeah.
It's
And
real
if-
interesting. I saw a video on it like a long time ago on how these these scammers did it. They don't actually know your info. They just essentially guess the card number.
Yeah.
Yes, like they just.
Yeah,
It's a
like I
device
said,
that, like,
it's kind
randomizes
of
card
random.
number.
It's kind of random randomized card numbers. So
Do they
essentially, just
use-
guesses.
Do they use like a computer software that, like, you know how like you would just run through a whole bunch of numbers in sequences and maybe they find out.
Kind
Yeah,
of
pretty much.
something like that. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but I do
Yeah.
remember they don't really steal people's credit cards or anything like that. They just literally
Yeah.
get numbers randomly, essentially.
Yeah, and I'll say this part of the conversation we'll start going into like a lot more of the infosex when we talk about scams now too, because holy shit. Now, to be honest,
Imagine when we
scams
get
are
to
like
the
the
age of-
lowest level.
When we get to the age of like quantum computing, like where it's on a different scale, and people can just run through like thousands
yeah.
of numbers in seconds and just get like a whole bunch of people's like card information based on pure like.
I was like, why
generation.
stop there? Why stop there? You can literally have it so that they can like find out what is your password through brute force, and if it's quantum level too, they'll probably figure that out in like an hour or something.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are concerned about. That a lot of our passwords will be cracked in like hours
Like-
or even minutes.
Yeah, even encryption data can be like cracked through quantum computers.
Yeah, that's the biggest
So-
thing a lot of people are concerned about. Is the cracking of encryption.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like, if anything, this is a topic that we'll get into probably at some point too. We'll probably touch back at it at some point again too, about like, in this case, infosec, which is just information security, because that's essentially why a lot of the scams are also like running rampant nowadays too, is the fact that a lot of companies are not practicing good security or good like security hygiene.
Yeah, that
Become
definitely should be a separate topic.
Yeah, because man, oh man, do I have a lot of stories to share about that too. If y'all want to actually listen into like what I'm about to talk about in the future, it is a Spotify podcast too called Darknet Diaries. That shit is insane too, where the guy kind of interviews a lot of like hackers, security experts, and even like people that do like social engineering as a fucking living. But that is also some things that we'll talk about at some point. But I do want to throw that out for you guys to just have a listen. It's fascinating, just on like the insanity that we are at right now, of like how much dangerous it is nowadays compared to before. Or if anything, I don't think much has changed. It's just the fact that it's wearing a new mask. But really, I gave this a listen to. If you want to have some existential dread, go listen to it.
Did you link it?
Yeah, you'll definitely feel. You'll definitely
start
feel
feeling-
extremely unsafe after hearing all of that.
Yeah. Which is something that I felt about too, and again, rightfully so, to be paranoid about all this shit too. just because it doesn't matter if anything is like, oh, what if my information gets leaked out there, right? But it's like the problem is not the fact that yeah, you're probably okay if your information is somewhat out there too, but there are people that will, in this case, will find ways to use that data and either scam you, blackmail you, or try to extort you in one way fashion too, and you wouldn't even know too, because half the time you're just like, oh shit, who did this data broker sold my money to? Half the time people don't even know their information got like sold off to a data broker.
Right.
Yeah, that's the current state we're in. And guess how much our fucking information and data is worth in some cases? Probably less than $1. That's in this case, the biggest insult to all this. Is the fact that some companies are just selling our money to almost to be dirt cheap.
Guys,
I'm
I'm
worth
at least
more
worth
than that.
$2.
I'm worth way more than that.
Well, too bad. Tell them at least. Tell our fucking data. If you're gonna sell it, at least sell it for a higher cost, you assholes. Don't be a fucking sellout that easy. Holy shit.
I know, right? Bunch of dicks, bro.
We're not selling our data.
Yeah, fuck you, Mark.
I guess it is what it is. I don't know how.
Jeez, bro.
know how to
Sorry.
fix it.
Zuck.
My bad. I just have that prejudice in
Zuck?
me.
The Zuck.
I just had that prejudice just because everybody unanimously hate metas or metaverse. That's just
Or
it.
meta.
That's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got for that topic too. Is there anything else you guys would love to add into this conversation?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I don't know.
it's all good. To be fair though, I was kind of afraid that this might be like a more or less a short topic to begin with too, just because we did kind of just go through like a lot of like the tech startups that were notorious of it failing super hard too, and a lot of people that kind of run behind it. But this also kind of goes to show of like, again, like how small like again, these tech startup companies do start from nothing too, and they are like more recent too, after 2008. And compared to a lot of other standing companies like Coca-Cola, Chase, JP Morgan's, or Blackstone, fucking Blackstone. Anyways, please don't send FBI trucks. Please don't send like
I'm
mercenaries to my
name
house.
dropping
My bad.
Blackstone or Black Rock? Which one are you talking about? Wait, which
I
one's
think it's-
Blackstone. Isn't Blackstone the grill?
Is it the grill?
Or is
Blackstone
it? Wait,
Grill.
My
no,
man
that's
hates
just
a
called
grill.
Blackstone.
Someone fact check me real quick.
I
Okay,
knew
wait,
he was
there-
massaging
Oh no,
it.
there is a Blackstone investment company. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause
that's
I know
what I was saying.
BlackRock. I know BlackRock. That's like the biggest one.
Oh, okay. That's the biggest one. Oh, okay. Whatever I
Yeah,
was
BlackRock
referring
is-
to.
And Blackstone is it is an investment company, but I don't know too much about them.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, if the whatever it was, BlackRock. Anyways, my bad for name dropping, but at the same time, this is just my opinion. Y'all can say, I can say whatever the fuck I want on my platform, and if I get raided by a SWAT, well, shit, we won't
you
see
ain't
any
no
streams
SWAT,
for the
bro.
next few weeks.
No
But
one's gonna raid you, bro. Don't worry, bro. That's not an FBI van in the front of your house.
wait,
No,
what?
that's
The
my
flower
van.
truck.
I'm about to swat him.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's like again, the nature with like the tech startups is again, they're like very like new to the spacesuits, and there's always going to be certain uncertainty for should like people invest into like new tech startup companies too. I'm probably in the reckless mindset in this case. Why not just keep trying too? Kevin O'Leary in this case can make these risks because he has the capital to like do
it's
risky
not
bets.
reckless.
Yeah. It's still not reckless then, even to Kevin O'Leary. But to everybody else, they say that it is reckless, but really, I'm like,
Well, I
not
mean,
really.
if you don't have money, then it's reckless, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, who would have thought too that if you don't have money to back up for your investment decisions, then it is considered reckless. Who not? Who would have thought?
You're considered stupid.
But
I mean, that's why people who get into crypto lose all their money because they're the ones being reckless, bro. They're tossing in everything into crypto, and then once it goes down, they lost everything. They lost their life savings. That's
Yeah.
reckless.
yeah, and the people that are in crypto that in this case hear people cry about like I lost so much money, and they're just like first time.
Well,
First time here.
that's the first. I wouldn't say first time, but rather I would say that these guys are careless. and not
Yeah,
and
these-
not these guys don't. I mean, clearly they're just buying in the hype. That's why they lost their money.
Mhm.
And people who are successful in crypto is because they understand how to manage their money.
Yeah.
That's the difference here. Everybody who loses their money is trying to get rich quick, just like the lottery.
Yeah. And it's still
You can
like the same
imagine how
shit
that
too.
would end up.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there's another company we could have talked about too, Robinhood. How that's also a fucking shady ass tech startup company.
How so?
Okay, I mean, they're not. They sound shady. They seem shady, but they're doing exactly what they promise.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, they
So, at least the best way to really describe what Robinhood did to that allow people to trade on their platform, what it really is that Robinhood, as the entirety of the company, they were in this case outright like buying stuff from the stock market itself and having people trade whatever they purchase within the Robinhood app. Or if anything, not really purchase straight up like stocks from there too, but they would in this case handle the transactional orders coming from Robinhood and then sending it to the stock market, and then it comes back to them to send it back to the end user. Sort of less like a typical middleman that you would think that. But apparently there's someone that mentioned too that Robinhood was also like getting investments or stock from like what is called a shadow pool.
Shadow pool. They really like to call things shadow and shade and like dark
Yeah.
and deep.
Yeah, it was like, or not shadow pool, but dark pool, which is essentially like, lack of a better term, it's like we don't really know what's in there too, but they are also pulling money out from there and stocks from there, which is also a little bit concerning if you're trying to be a public tradings platform.
I mean, if you want to, if you want to understand how they work, they operate by. I mean, they don't do the buying or selling. They
Mhm.
route all your orders to a different company. They don't route your orders to the stock market. That's what some companies do. Believe it or not, a lot of the commission-free trading platforms or brokerage, they don't trade your stocks directly on the stock market. They trade them through another company.
That already has that stock at hand.
Yeah, so they're essentially a mini stock market if you want to think about it that way.
Yeah.
So the people will, or Robinhood and all these other companies that have commission-free trading, they'll route your order to this external company, and then usually there'll be a higher markup, so that the company who's routing them the order, like Robinhood for example, will get a small bit of that money, which is pennies. It's not that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, they literally
either
upcharge
way.
you by like pennies. But if you consider like how many transactions happen at a stock market at a time, they can get a fuck ton of money quick.
They do. They make a lot of money. That's how they're still in business. They make a lot of money.
Yeah. Now,
Here's the thing, like a lot of people think this is shady, which I do kind of agree really. I mean, it's not you're being like, you have to go through another company, and they're the ones that technically control the pricing and all the order routing and all that good stuff. Yeah, it is a little shady, but at the same time, if you
they're
want
not
free,
technically illegal.
if you want a free commission free trading, if you don't want to pay money to trade your stocks and stuff, this is your option.
Yeah. At least it is not considered, at least what they're doing is not considered illegal. It's just a matter of like people there is like a lot of times for you too, people didn't really understand like how did Robinhood technically work in that aspect until they kind of someone did the investigation and showed that, okay, so this is actually how they did it too. So it's like, oh, I see. So it's like, is it bad?
A lot of people just want to say that, I mean, technically it is bad because I think Europe outlawed this practice.
Yeah, I think that's mostly why it drew headlines to begin with. Is I don't think Robinhood is available in like a lot of European countries.
But either way, like it does sound shady, but at the same time, it's not the worst thing that could happen to your
Yeah.
stocks.
Yeah, maybe the GameStop incident, but that shit was hilarious to be honest with you. Which
Yeah.
it was hilarious to witness it, but I'll write up all that too. It was actually a lot more harmful to a lot of other
Oh.
companies.
I think I remember the main issue why it was a problem. Because if you buy it through this middleman, you don't actually own the stock.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that
that's
was
the
the
thing.
biggest. That was the issue there.
Yeah. And Robinhood, you technically don't even own the stock. What you're technically seeing is just your balance sheet, no matter what. All you're essentially doing is the fact that they're making you do this other investments company work of investing money into something. May not be the best way, but it is there. Hold on. Are you trying to say something, Michael? Or
No, my mic's just catching the air. Sorry.
oh damn,
air.
He's
Ah.
oh no,
breathing,
the
bro.
ghost. Oh man, I was just watching on my stream side, and I just keep seeing Michael's like avatar just keep
No,
lighting. I'm like, oh
I,
okay.
I tried to fix it, but
Oh, well, it's fine. But yeah, Robinhood, yeah, it's a tech startup company that I guess fortunately it's not as bad as people think. I still don't trust them nonetheless too.
I don't trust any of them.
Mostly, I just don't trust a lot of tech startups. Let's be honest here too.
I think it's a smart idea not to trust them.
Yeah, it's like you don't trust Robinhood, yet a lot of, I'm sure the majority of the brokers you use, especially the ones that are free, do the
Yeah.
same practice as Robinhood.
Yeah, like
They
if
just don't
anything,
know
I'm
it
just,
yet.
yeah, I'm pretty sure too. Like I have like TD Ameritrade, but I'm not like active on there. Fortunately, I'm not active.
If you use
Got
their
it.
commission-free trading, yeah, they'll route through a different company.
Yeah,
But if you do their active trader, which is their professional, quote unquote, I mean, not quote unquote, it is the professional trading software,
hmm
then that can get routed directly to the stock market instead.
yeah, yeah. That's another big deal too with like tech startups, like trying to make like at least the good thing about a lot of tech startups too, they do have good ideas about like trying to make like some like practices be a lot more accessible to public, whether it be
Yeah.
like from medical stuff
Yeah.
to business, finance, whatever it is.
Yeah, just like trading, just like investing.
Yeah,
After Robinhood became a big thing, a lot of other big companies started offering commission-free trading.
yeah,
So if Robinhood never existed, we'll probably still be paying commission for trading or for just investing, buying stocks or selling stocks in general.
yeah. It was because of Robinhood's like business practice or business model that all these other investment companies started offering this. Which, if anything, it feels a bit strange that that's how it kind of folded it to be. But, you know, hey, we're in this now. We're in this world now.
Welcome.
Robinhood may be shady, but they're one of the companies that really changed the whole landscape of a particular industry.
Yeah, if anything, if it wasn't for just like the practice alone about like all the technical stuff of how the company works, it was literally the idea of what the service they provided is what changed like the whole economic landscape.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was enough to say that like they're still technically, yes, a good tech startup company in the end. Albeit we'll see if they improve in the futures to come. But that also brings to the other points too, that like there will be like a lot of tech startups that are actually going to be like really good for us. Or in this case, we should really pay attention to like a lot of tech startups. And we should all still put every tech startup through scrutiny of the lens of how bad would they fuck it up if we give them money.
That's hard because if
Yeah.
you're, like I said before, if you have a company and you provide a product or service that brings in customers, because for a startup, money isn't a revenue and profits isn't the main selling point. It's if you can make a product or service that a lot of people will use,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they'll give them money. Because if all four of us here just decided to go up to an angel investor and say, "This is what we want to do, and this is our plan, and here's a working prototype." 99% sure they're most likely not going to invest into it unless it is really a good idea.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
But neither do they, so they also have the right to say that they could not invest into us.
Yeah.
They'll invest into us.
Yeah.
Copium. But yeah, I feel like if anything too, for like the last big four companies that were brought into the limelight of like, this is all like types of trash too. Actually, what is this current state of Uber? Now that I think about it, because it is also a tech
Well, it's
startup.
still operational. It's still operational. They're still working. I mean,
Yeah.
they're getting hit hard by
Like-
the whole ride sharing stuff.
Yeah,
Because
ride
nobody's
sharing.
really like doing all that anymore.
Yeah.
I know
Like ride
they
sharing?
pulled out of Vietnam not too long ago, or a couple
Yeah.
years back, because they
Yeah.
couldn't compete with the local ride sharing companies.
Yeah, because half the time it's like, here, you got room on a moped? Yeah, here's money. Okay, where you go? Here, got it.
Yeah. Also, Airbnb too. They're also another one of those Uber era startups that's
Yeah.
doing okay, but they're starting to not do well.
Yeah, such as the fact that they're not going to be able to generate like profits or revenue for quite a bit too, just because the downturn. Which
Yeah.
I will say too, I only mentioned Uber just because I had like an entrepreneurship and innovations professor as part of university. That was a fun class, by the way. But man, did he not talk about the fact that he hated how Uber is like a unicorn tech company, where if anything, if you really look at their spread or balance sheet too, they're literally only living off of like investment money. The company itself is not really generating profits or revenue. It's like their whole balance is just zero.
Yeah, that's the issue with a lot of startups, though. I mean, the whole point isn't to make profit yet. It's to
Yeah.
make a product or service that a lot of people will use.
Yeah, like in this case, market dominance, which is in this case, that's why I think a lot of like investors like were really banking on is the fact that Uber is going to be like in this case, a market dominator here in America.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, replacing taxis in general.
In this case.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
No.
No,
Wait,
Pharrell,
did
you
I-
cut off.
You
Oh
cut off,
shit! Did I?
Doug.
Oh shit! Did I? Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say in this case, the Uber itself kind of replaced a lot of like taxi services in most kind of states too. Actually, I don't even know. When was the last time you guys saw a taxi cab?
It's a taxi.
Never.
God
The
damn.
last time I saw a taxi cab was when I came back home from Vietnam because I was at the airport.
Hmm.
And then we just rented a taxi. We just got in a taxi and just drove us home.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
I
the
guess
last
it-
time.
I guess right now they're really just like focused only in like airports now. I guess it makes sense anyways, but
Maybe.
still.
I don't know.
But yeah, but if anything, that was the job what Uber was gonna do, is the fact that they were just gonna outright like make a wave or throw away a lot of like taxi services to exist. Airbnb is also like they were trying to be like a cheap, affordable like the hotel services, but it's like at a house instead. It's essentially
No,
what
they're
I get from
definitely, they're definitely not cheap or affordable. Those
Yeah,
guys are
not
expensive
anymore.
as hell.
Yeah, never. That was how they started off initially. Nowadays, it's just like, yeah, this is expensive now. What the fuck?
And also Uber. I mean, Uber is definitely way better than taxi because taxi they just have a distance clock that's how they calculate how much to charge you. With Uber, everything is predefined.
Yeah, everything is predefined to like your mileage, how much it is to, and whatnot.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
much you're gonna pay and all that. Everything's already predefined.
I think what made them actually a lot more hella accessible too is the fact that you can actually do a lot of things, such as you could pay for someone's Uber. Like in this case, you can like order Uber for someone on your side too. They could take that Uber that you ordered, they could drive them there. Or if anything, you could split your fare cost. I think that's the biggest issue that I think Uber had over like the taxi competition, is the fact that the app itself is easy enough to use and understandable to use. of like how to do things. I think that's what makes a lot of tech startup like actually like stay on the long run too. As long as the service you provide is way more convenient to use than the alternative, then people will stick to the most convenient option.
Yeah.
Once you make like services that are not as convenient, such as a lot of AAA companies with the way how they lay out their fucking their store pages, God, I hate that. Okay. Once that becomes inconvenient to someone, they are more likely to drop like your product, and therefore you lose customer.
Mhm.
I think that's again a lot of tech startups too. They probably do have really good ideas, but I think the end of it all too, it needs to make something that is convenient. I think that is like the biggest takeaway from all this.
Yeah, convenient. Definitely, people value convenience for sure.
Yeah. Like my entrepreneurship company or class said too, my professor. If there is a problem and you can provide the answer solution and it's convenient, yeah, people will put a lot of money in that. I guess that's also the same thing with Robinhood too. It was just convenient and easy to like trade on there. Quote unquote
Oh yeah,
trade.
extremely. Because you never. I don't. It wasn't. It was never easy to trade
Yeah.
before because it's usually done on a computer. But now it's in an app, and it's mostly in an app.
And it's like,
And an app is on a phone, and you always have your phone.
yeah. So that's the most convenient part. And the other part about it too is like literally to buy stock or sell stuff, it's like 2 or 3 buttons away.
Yeah.
Which is also, yeah, I can honestly see like now to look back on a lot of like the whole tech space that we have too. Yeah, a lot of them are still around here too because the fact they in this case understand how valuable convenience is.
People are lazy.
Yeah. What do you think about
Lazy,
like
but at the same, like it also depends. It also depends. The Robinhood convenience was different because now everybody can trade and invest and stuff like that.
which
They weren't
changes
just
the market?
yeah, you're not just relying on ordering stocks from like a stockbroker or anything like that. No, you can just do it from your phone.
Yeah. And on top of it all too, you have like, what was it? I'm thinking of a company that I just thought of real quick and then I lost it. God damn it.
But either way, it's like Tesla now disrupting the whole car market in more
Yeah.
ways than one because their technology and their cars are way ahead of a lot of other car companies out there. And the way they sell their cars is meant direct to consumer rather than through a dealer. And everybody hates dealerships.
Yeah.
And by doing direct to consumer, you can do everything on an app. You can buy a car on a fucking app if you believe that shit.
Yeah. God.
That's
That
the
was actually
convenience.
unbelievable for me to hear. whenever
That is
someone-
the convenience right there of buying a Tesla. And that's why a lot of people buy a Tesla rather than another company's EV if you're looking for one, that is. Because of that kind of convenience. And that's not the lazy convenience. This is the convenience that people wanted to avoid dealerships and to
Yeah.
avoid haggling and to avoid all that unnecessary paperwork. Everything can be done on your phone or in front of a computer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Like I said-
laziness was just a joke, but no, I think it was when it comes down to avoiding all of that unnecessary like legwork and conversation of just trying to just simply haggle someone down a few $1,000s or so, and then just the whole waiting process, all the mind games that are involved, and just being able to buy a car when you need it. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's like awesome. That's like that's what everyone's looking for.
Yeah, see, this
Yeah.
is why some of these tech startups really do have like innovative ideas, and that's why they're successful now. I mean, as much as people hate Tesla, the reason they're successful is because of the ideas that they have. And
Yeah. The services they
products
provide.
and service that they
is-
provide. Yeah.
Oh, God damn. And this is coming from me too, where like I'm not a big fan of like Teslas in general too. That's just out of preference. But I can't like underplay the fact too that like, yeah, they have the most convenient service out of all the car companies out there. But that's because like no other car company is doing this shit. Please. We want to have something that's easy for a lot of like car buyers too. But anyways, that's like a
Yeah,
point
but
that
they're-
we
they're-
had previously.
They're also not doing it because because of dealership laws in America. A lot of states still require that your cars are sold through dealerships. Texas
Yeah.
being one of them.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning behind that?
It's
So it is an old law to protect consumers because they believe that if manufacturers are the one that's sold directly to consumers, they can just raise the prices and
dealerships
something like
would
that.
sell.
Essentially, it was just consumer protection in the end.
but
But
nowadays
that doesn't make sense. But that hold on, that doesn't make sense to me because dealerships buy the cars from the companies. So if the manufacturer raises prices, the dealerships has to as well. So
And not only
how is
that-
yeah, I don't understand where the consumer protection truly is.
And normally, like if they're gonna buy it, they're automatically gonna raise the price on it to make a profit. So it's a little weird. Maybe it wasn't. Its true intentions weren't what they say.
maybe. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see though too. Because
Conspiracy. I don't know.
conspiracy theories, hot
Yeah.
takes. Dealerships are ass. They should be removed. But
Tesla is the way forward.
yeah, like honestly though,
Said
it's
this
weird
so
enough to like.
solemnly, yeah.
It's weird enough too that like Tesla is still considered a tech startup where in this case their main product they sell is cars. But then I really think about it, it's the fact that Tesla doesn't really sell cars. They in this case sell the technologies that are in the car itself. The car itself is just a mode or like a platform for them to demonstrate the technology that they have. It was like the more I actually think about it, it was like it made more sense that way how they could claim themselves to be a tech company.
I mean, their main focus is full self-driving vehicles.
Yeah, when there's full self-driving level 5.
Never at this rate.
Damn. We need that in every fucking car. I don't want to deal with some dumbass drivers not knowing how to use their damn signals. Looking at all the BMW drivers out there. You know who you are.
You don't have to look out that far. You can see like in almost everyone.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me
Okay,
look at my
so
next door neighbor. Hey, you asshole. But
That's them fighting words.
yeah, it do be them fine words. It's not even a hot take. I'm just trying to instigate shit.
They're
But
trying to fight.
but no. What do you guys think about this?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, we are in this case living in what seems to be confusing time for a lot of people, especially a lot of headline news stars trying to paint that like tech startups are like untrustworthy. And it's just like the statement that you hear whenever you say tech startups are untrustworthy. And I'm like, I mean, when you put startup at the front of it, yes, it's going to be untrustworthy. That's going to be literally anything else but tech as well. Anything that's a startup is going to be like questionable. Or at least that's the mindset everyone should have, is like, yes, we should all be questioning all this. But at the same time, we should never shut out any ideas.
We should do
'Cause
our due diligence, but at the same time, we have to take a risk.
Yeah.
If we don't take a risk, there will be absolutely no new ideas that will
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah. Let's be honest too. In this case, I shit on like Tesla a lot of times too with all this stuff that they're trying to do like as new technology. But that's better anyways. You'd rather be a critic on like things like this just because you know that it's going to get better. It's like everyone is like, it's like one of those things too, like you hate when people say, everybody's a fucking critic. And it's just like, why not at this point? At this point, you live in America, you can say whatever fuck you want. You can say whatever you want. You can talk shit to whoever you want, like Mark Zuckerberg. I'm sorry,
You
that's going to be a
really need
recurring joke.
You really need to stop.
I don't know, man. I
I'm
just
sorry.
don't
I'm
want to hear everyone complain all the time.
Yeah, I think the complaining part too is going to be like part of it, no matter how we phrase it. or no matter what they do, there will be someone that will always complain about it. But keep it in a mindset, if you are the ones that are running the company too, take every criticism with a grain of salt. And if you want to learn from the criticism, go for it.
That's what you
Is-
should do.
Yeah, that's what you should
learn
do.
From you should learn from the criticisms.
But no, it feels like they're attacking me as my character.
Yes.
Wait. But well, I got nothing more to really share though. Is there any last minute words that you guys want to say too before we could figure out what our next topic is going to be?
You're stupid. Just
What?
kidding.
Fuck
I
you.
love you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, hold on a minute.
Oh my god, he said
I tried
we
my
are
best.
stupid.
I try my best to bring you into this fucking conversation. You call me
Becky.
stupid. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's how I got brought in. So I'm gonna strike.
My god, I hate this. But if anything, actually, we'll say to do this for the next topic because I know y'all two talked about it. Do you guys want to do like the whole why better, healthier foods are more expensive?
Yeah, actually,
Yes,
I'm
sir,
really
yeah.
curious about that.
Good
Yeah.
change of topic. Good change of topic.
I know.
Yeah, maybe we can
We'll do
all
it.
like start chipping in too. But anything, is there something that we probably would like to? Oh, I guess if any, we could probably save that for like next week too because we are hitting the hour 30-minute mark here. So
But
Don't
So I'll
shut
leave you-
out. Be
Hmm.
cautious about tech startups, but don't shut out the ideas.
yeah, it's like never, in this case, give away money or never invest money that you're too afraid of losing.
Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. That's always the most important rule of investing.
Yeah, if you're afraid of losing $1 million, do not invest $1 million.
Oh no.
What do you mean? What?
just kidding. I
Anyways,
want
You're
to
telling
lose all
me.
my money.
oh, then go for it. Go into crypto. You'll definitely lose money there.
Oh my gosh. Correct.
But yes, I will leave you all off on that note too. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.